Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Mid-South Wrestling Review Series, April 17th, 1982. And we are cooking right along. Hopefully, you're enjoying the series as much as I am producing it for you. I hope to have the largest in territorial uh, television review series available. We open with an interesting segment. Bill Watts talking about the nature of the war in Memphis between Andy Kaufman, taxi actor and then turned professional wrestler, and Jerry the King Lawler. I think Watts probably felt he had to address it because it was getting national television attention. He basically said that he finds Andy Kaufman to be a complete joke, and the fact that he'd wrestled women not to be a sufficient reason that he should have matches with Lawler. And basically that wrestling should be taken seriously as a sport. I think he probably felt the need to respond to this since it was all over television at the time, Letterman and other news outlets picking it up. But it's just interesting to see another promotion comment on an angle by a conceivably rival company. One man gang in a handicap match managed by Skandor Akbar, Tony Torres and Terry Gibbs. Gibbs, of course, a enhancement talent for WWE or WWF at the time for quite a while. Gang, of course, over 400 pounds and being treated like $1 million here. Manages to hang his opponent upside down in the corner. That's kind of an interesting thing. And then we see the gang continue to be super aggressive, assertive, both guys in the ring at the same time. Gang doesn't seem to care. Forearms and basic stuff, doesn't need to do a lot, just needs to do it well. And Gang, obviously, with some uh, rather big stuff, shots to the top of the head and the like. And the Gang manages to take a shot again, gets a shot to the top of the head on his adversary, choke out with the double fisted choke out, and Gang then eventually gets a body slam and a actually stumbles in the corner, a little bit inexperienced, big body slam followed by the big splash, and the Gang gets a win for Akbar's bunch. And so we move rather quickly. I love Mid South pacing, wrestling. That's what it's about. Uh, Bob Roop, the former or the current North American champion, against Dick Murdoch. Talk about an interesting team. Murdoch, or interesting match. Murdoch is a guy who they're doing the Captain Redneck thing. He comes out in military fatigues and the like, bringing a baton of some sort out with him in kind of a military fatigue sort of bag. Interesting deal there. Again, Roop being a pretty influential guy at the time. This is a pretty big deal again at the time, and we continue to see some pretty intense stuff. Match is more of a brawl, although Roop tries to get it to be less of one. Obviously, Murdoch, a brawler who can go to the mat when necessary. Murdoch had been around since the 60s, so he knew at this point what he was doing. Um, Switch with just a kick, or something really simple. Murdoch doesn't need to do 10 million things. Murdoch does get sent to the outside. Akbar takes a couple of shots and sends Murdoch back into the ring. Roop manages to work over the arm of his opponent and tries what would later be known as a Vader bomb, but Murdoch gets the knees up. Obviously, Murdoch as a champion would have been an interesting deal here. Drops the elbow. It's amazing how much Murdoch looks like a thinner version of Dusty Rhodes. Just interesting, since they were such good friends, tag team partners throughout the years, Texas Outlaws, and all of that. Murdoch puts on his military hat and blasts um, Akbar with a weapon. Roop goes back into the ring and rolls back out. Basically, they do the chase spot for a couple of minutes. And Roop, I believe, basically stays away for a countout victory for Murdoch and the referee, which is a rare thing here. Then we go to what ends up being a much better match than I imagined it to be, although kind of one of those matches where you don't know you want to see it until you see it. Tully Blanchard and Paul Orndorff. Just an interesting match that I don't remember seeing much of. Lots of new talent coming into the area. We'll even get into some Hall of Fame, other Hall of Famers who come through Mid South. I think that's the amazing thing is so many Hall of Fame talents came through Mid South in the 77 to 87 if we include the UWF years. So in 10 years, just a really interesting thing. How many major talents come through? At this point, Paul Orndorff more the baby face. He gets a hip toss and gets a pretty good run for his money. Blanchard, though, manages to hit a good shot and actually a couple of them. Short punches. Blanchard always in the backing up motion. Orndorff, who's been gone for a little while, a couple of weeks anyway, hits a few drop kicks and the like. Goes right to work on the arm of Blanchard. Twisted arm bars and also kind of an Indian Death Hammerlock combination. And Orndorff manages to stay right on his adversary quite a bit here, and does so quite well. He's happy with it, and I think other than it might be uncomfortable, but Blanchard comes off the top rope, or second rope rather. Again, top rope illegal. Second rope with a diving elbow. Suplex of the vertical variety changes the momentum of the match for Orndorff. Orndorff picks up a Boston Crab, which is an odd move for him. However, Orndorff manages or Blanchard manages to get out of that. Figure four by Blanchard. Blanchard ends up in the reversed figure four as Orndorff manages to do that. And then we see interference from Bob Roop beating up on Orndorff. And Blanchard and Roop, at least for the moment, are aligned. More out of the history between those two, between Orndorff and Roop, than anything else. So a disqualification there. Notice that disqualifications and countouts and all that aren't used to just get out of matches we shouldn't have booked in the first place. There's always a reason behind the story. Mike Sharp and Larry Higgins up next. And we see Sharp with a little bit of power stuff. Sharp obviously slows matches down in comparison to what we've already seen. Literally, they go probably about, I don't even know, maybe 2-3 minutes here. Sharp ends up punch kick, very basic offense, and eventually getting his inverted backbreaker type hold to give him a victory. That leads to the next matchup, which I believe, let me see here in my notes. Let's see. We move on to the assassin bailing out on Ernie Ladd. Basically, the idea was Ladd was supposed to get help from the assassin in his battle with Skandor Akbar's army and more specifically the Samoans tag team champions. Assassin comes out, basically says that Ladd's a fool. Yes, Ladd paid him $10,000, but Akbar called him earlier that morning and paid him more. We then go to the tag team match. Ladd feels he needs to find a partner right off. Samoans think they have an advantage because Ladd does not have a partner going in. And eventually, Ladd does find a partner again in Mike Sharp. So Sharp kind of pulling double duty. Not sure if it was taped the same day, but Sharp pulling double duty here as a tag team partner for Ernie Ladd. Ladd's a guy who I would love to see more of. I'd love to see him in other territories. Not sure how much footage is available of him, 70s and the like. Anyway, the assassin comes in and actually works with the Samoans against Ernie Ladd and kind of, causes issues. Of course, he uses that headbutt that's normal there. Meanwhile, Paul Orndorff runs in and gets even with all of that, so I don't really know where he fits in, but the whole match breaks down into chaos. Obviously, some house show matches can be built off of that angle. Then we go to I believe, Florida contest. I don't know why we're showing Florida, but it's not really well defined by the announcers. Maybe just as a favor or because they're using Florida talent. And I know of a talent that's coming in that was in Florida at the time. Anyway, Terry Taylor and Harley Race, former multi-time NWA champion, in a Florida match. The only reason I know it's Florida is because A, of the blue ring, and B, the voice of Gordon Soley is part of that. Gordon's a guy that, and I don't know how much Florida is going to be available on YouTube. Probably not that much, but anyway, and other places. But anyway, Salto suplex by Harley, and then a double underhook suplex. I think I spoke wrong, or it's labeled wrong, because that does not. Yeah, it is Terry Taylor. Okay, just a really young looking and thin Terry Taylor. Double underhook suplex Race, one of the best of all time. I wish there was more Harley Race footage. I enjoy Harley so much. Anyway, double underhook suplex, butterfly suplex, and some punches. Race tries to cut things off. Race can get lots of mileage out of anyone at any time. Race also with a sit-down pile driver a la Terry Funk style. Um, his adversary here, Mr. Taylor, not liking his life very much as he gets punched right in the face. The referee having to break into things to try to get Race to be a little more rule compliant. How's that working for you? Anyway, big drop kick by Taylor, missed or shrugged off more accurately by Harley. Harley with the dropping with the running knee drop and then the vertical suplex, getting himself a victory, falling backwards with the suplex. At one point, think about this, that was a finish that won the world title, the vertical suplex. So that's a pretty big deal. Anyway, we move forward, and then we move to Jesse Barr and Buddy Landel to close the program. Don't know that they get a full match out of it because they've only got about 4 minutes left. Landel, of course, is still finding his way. He had good things to say about his time in Mid-South in shoot interviews I've watched over the years. So this is an interesting thing. Barr, kind of a guy they're using as a card filler who always looks strong enough but never quite strong enough to, be in championship real contention or to be in a winning situation. Fireman's carry by Landel takes him over pretty simple. Barr, though, manages to stay on the mat pretty well and manages to handle his opponent with a bridge. Then we go to Landel with several maneuvers of his own. Jesse Barr manages to hit a suplex, trying to get rid of Landel. Vertical suplex by Landel, 1, 2, and out the back door we go. Referee gives them, and you can actually see in the video, just a quick little nod, as if to say, you've got about 2 minutes left, guys, and that's the way we go. Shoulder tackle, Barr up and over, tries to hit a crossbody, but Landel takes a knee, misses an elbow drop in the in the corner. I love this match too because and they don't end with a finish. But I love this match because A, the standby match still looks good, and B, and here's the bigger part, it never gets old and they still fight like it matters even after your main matches have taken place. Anyway, we'll be back with more right after this.